Yes, so good evening, students. So, as we were discussing, that we had discussed there are two types of cell. First is the prokaryotic cell, second is the eukaryotic cell. So, we are starting with the first type of the cell, that is the prokaryotic cell. In prokaryotic cell, you are basically going to study the cell of bacteria. It's the most common type, so you are going to study the cell of bacteria. Now, as such, bacteria are of variety of shapes, but the most common shape that we will be discussing here is the rod-shaped bacteria, which is going to be rectangular in shape. The rod-shaped bacteria. The rod-shaped bacteria has a membrane surrounding it. This membrane is called the plasma membrane. This membrane separates the bacterial cell from the inside material of the bacterial cell from the outside environment. So this is called the plasma membrane. Now, surrounding this plasma membrane, the bacteria also have a very tough protective layer, which we call as the cell wall. Now, this cell wall in bacteria is made up of a substance which is known as peptidoglycan. It is called peptidoglycan. So, the cell wall of bacteria is made up of a substance known as peptidoglycan. Peptide here means protein and glycan here means carbohydrate. So basically, peptidoglycan is a complex between protein and carbohydrate. Now, let us come inside the bacterial cell. This bacterial cell inside contains a fluid. This fluid is known as cytoplasm. Inside this cytoplasm, the genetic material of the bacterial cell is located. Genetic material means the DNA. This DNA is generally found, it is generally circular, and it is found attached to the plasma membrane. So this is the genetic material which we call as the DNA. Now, the DNA of the prokaryotic cell will not have any membrane surrounding it. Why? Because from the term itself we know that pro means primitive, karyon means nucleus. So it has a primitive nucleus, so it has a naked DNA. It does not have any membrane surrounding the DNA. So it is actually the naked genetic material. Now, such naked genetic material is given a name which is known as nucleoid. So what does nucleoid mean? Nucleoid means naked DNA or naked genetic material. Now, when we observe the plasma membrane, we see that the bacterial cell's plasma membrane is not continuous. At certain places, this plasma membrane has some infoldings inside the cytoplasm. It has some infoldings inside the cytoplasm. These extensions inside the cytoplasm are known as mesosomes. They are known as mesosomes. Now, these mesosomes contain respiratory enzyme. So it is found that these mesosomes actually help in the process of respiration. They help in the process of respiration. So we can say that the mesosomes of bacteria are similar to the mitochondria of our eukaryotic cells. Okay. Now, apart from the normal genetic material, that is the DNA, the cells might also have, some bacterial cells might also have very small free circular DNA, which is called as the plasmid. Plasmid is not part of the normal genetic material, it is extra chromosomal DNA. Now, apart from this, nothing else is present because it does not have any membrane bound nucleus, it does not have any membrane bound organelles also. But it might have one organelle, it has one organelle, not might have, it has one organelle, which is called the ribosomes. Ribosomes are non-membrane bound structures, and the ribosomes which are present here in the prokaryotic cell are 70s. What is 70s? We will discuss it when we discuss the ribosomes in detail. So 70s ribosome, just remember, right now it is present in prokaryotic cell. In eukaryotic cell, 80s ribosome is present. Now, apart from this, nothing else is present inside the prokaryotic cell. Outside this prokaryotic cell, some of the bacteria which are motile, which are able to move, might have presence of flagella. So there can be two types of bacteria. One which are non-motile, cannot move, they don't have flagella. One, or those bacteria which have the flagella, they can have either one flagella, two flagella, many flagella, tuft of flagella, or flagellas everywhere. They can have it in anywhere. So this flagella, let us draw the flagella. So it arises from the cytoplasm and it extends outside the body of the bacteria like a tail. So this is called the flagella. Okay. Apart from this, the bacteria might also have certain types of cytoplasmic extensions outside the body. These extensions arising from the plasma membrane, arising outside the body of the bacteria, help this bacteria to interact with the other bacterial cells. So these interactive extensions are known as villi. They are called villi. Apart from this, whenever some bacteria face unfavorable conditions, they might develop another protective layer surrounding the cell wall. Another protective layer surrounding the cell wall. This protective layer will be mucilaginous, it will be sticky in nature, and this new protective layer is known as the capsule. It is known as capsule. Okay, so these are the basic parts of prokaryotic cell.